Guys, how's it going? Uh, Thank you. First time in China. Pretty excited for this talk and pretty excited to meet new people. So hopefully after this talk we'll have some discussions about rats, recipes, food. But yeah, today I'm gonna talk about deploying your Rust UI to the terminal and to your Pocket. I'll explain what that means. But yeah, that's the topic for today. And here's me. That's an accurate representation of me. Without the rat, please ignore it. My name is Orhun, Orhun Parmaksız. I came from Ankara, Turkey. And I am mostly involved in open source, Rust and terminals for a couple of years now. I have been maintaining Ratatui and also a couple of other projects. And I'm also packaging, I'm saying it's also too many times, but also I've been maintaining probably your favorite Rust packages in Arch Linux for, I don't know, some years. You can find me on GitHub and YouTube from those links. But anyways, enough about me, let's get to the talk. So I want you to imagine a rat. Please imagine it in your mind. And this rat wants to download MP3 from the internet. Don't ask me why. Maybe he's into music, I don't know. And this rat goes to YouTube MP3 downloader CC something. And what happens is, most likely, because that's the easiest way, right? You have the browser, you can just download MP3, whatever. You get a lot of ads, and that's a bad thing. So rat is sad now. Okay, imagine a rat again, please. This time, rat wants to find cheese.txt in the file system. So what does rat do? Rat uses the file search on Windows 10, let's say. So you get this progress bar, just like working on it, so it never completes. So rat goes to Google and then searches for a solution for that. And there's a 30-minute tutorial on fixing that problem. And there is a 4-minute follow-up to that. I don't know why, but anyways. So rat is tired after this, after all of this. Imagine a rat again. I'm sorry. This time, rat wants to monitor the network traffic. So the rat runs a GUI tool, a graphical user interface to do that. And the rat ends up clicking on a bunch of things. Click that menu, click that other menu, select this packet, download the packet, and pull it there, and yeah, bunch of clicking happens. So rat explodes. All right, what's the solution to all of this? If you want to download MP3, these are just like examples. Yeah, you can just use the terminal. You can just download MP3 with this command. If you want to search for a file, let's say I actually don't want to search for a file. I want to search for a keyword. Just run this command, and boom, you have the results there. This is like searching this keyword in all of my cloned repos. And if you want to edit something, you just press enter, and you're in your editor, basically. All right, back to the Wi-Fi like network monitoring problem. What are you going to do? Is there a terminal tool for that? There is a tool called Oryx. You can just run it. 1 second, let me just enter my password. And boom, you have all of your network connections, everything there. You can see your stats. I cannot scroll here. But anyways, you see, like, you can just do all of this in your terminal. You can download the packets, see a bunch of stuff. So, can I exit this? Okay, there you go. So, okay, how did that happen? What is Oryx doing, right? How is that possible? Well, let's start cooking, guys. So I'm gonna wear my apron. 1 second. It's a bit dirty because I actually use this, sorry. Okay, let's start cooking. What are we gonna cook? Wrong slide. We're gonna cook Ratatui programs today, Ratatui terminal UIs. So, how many of you heard of Ratatui before? Can I see hands? Great, so many new rats in the house. Great, I love it. So Ratatui is a Rust library for cooking up terminal user interfaces. It's been around since 2023. So before Ratatui, there was TUIRS. And we have a bunch of contributors, lots of apps built with Ratatui, a lot of downloads and stuff, just flexing here. There are some TUIs that you might have heard of. Tokyo Console, Yazi, Dioxys, Atu, and Gitu. Anyone heard of these before? Can I see hands? Anyone using them, actually, in their workflow? Great. And we've been used by some companies, Netflix, OpenAI, OVH Cloud, and many more. And there's this PR that I want to show you. So OpenAI, you guys know Codex CLI, right? The command line agent for OpenAI. So they started using Ratatui in this PR. They implemented their CLI in some other language, I don't remember. But in here, they switched to Ratatui, and now it's using Ratatui on their side. And okay, what can you build with it? You can build stuff like this. This is one of the great examples. This is basically a TUI for exploring your open API spec. You can see the requests. You can like go into detail, like send requests and edit them or whatever. There's another one. This is called Yosefu. This is for just a Kafka cluster dashboard. You can run queries and basically stuff like that. You can build TUIs similar to these with using Ratatui. If that's not enough, I'm going to show you some other stuff. This is a fun little program. I'm going to try to make this smaller. So, let me just actually run it again. All right, there you go. So you can also build stuff like this in the terminal. Right now, this is in the terminal with all the animations and the panes and like the menus and so on. This is for managing your keyboard bindings. Moving on to other examples. 1 second. If you want to build websites, you can also do that. There's a project called Ratzilla built by me, so you can build websites looking like the terminal, basically. So this is also running Ratatouille on the terminal with all the widgets and everything. And also you can build games with this, so I'm going to show you. 1 sec. So this is a terminal game that you can play. Let's try to play it. Test. You could just select the planet. I'm going to select Earth because I like this place, kind of. Not always, but whatever. How do I start the game, though? Okay. I don't remember the key bindings. Anyways, yeah, you get the idea. You can build a bunch of things with Ratatouille. And if you want to like see how you can do those things, on the Rust side, it's actually pretty easy. So you can just start your Ratatouille application with this call. You just call run. It gives you a terminal. And in a loop, you just draw a widget. So terminal is how we interact with the terminal, and frame is a single frame at a time. And then you can just handle the events, such as the key press. So if you press something, it will just quit. And just 13 lines of code, you can have a TUI application running. Easy or cheesy, I don't know. So we have some templates as well. If you want to start out, you just run this command. This will generate a project for you with everything in place. If you want async, it's already in there. So super easy stuff. When it comes to architecture, this is how Ratatouille looks like. So we have some widgets, as I said, anything that implements the widget trait is a widget. So if you want a custom widget, you just implement that trait. We have some backends, so Crossterm is the most popular one for interacting with the terminal, but you can also have your own backends. And we have these components where you can just use core if you're building, if you need the building blocks from the core. If you need the widgets, you can just include widgets in your crate. So we have a pretty flexible modular architecture, and we were thinking, why do we stop here, right? We can just run Ratatouille on other stuff too. So now Ratatouille runs on a car dashboard because why not? Somebody was like, yeah, let's just put it on my car and let me see the speed and everything. So now this is possible. Or this is from me. I had this PSP laying around in my drawer and I was playing a game called Patapon one day. Anybody know Patapon? My man. So I was like, why am I playing a game on this? Let me just run terminal UIs on it. So there you go. You can just run it there. Or you can use Ratatouille in other contexts. This is a game. This is work in progress. But using Ratatouille for the dialog boxes. So there you go. It's not a terminal app, but using the terminal aesthetics through Ratatouille. That box right there is using Ratatouille. So there you go. We call all of these things Ratatouilleifying. This is a term that we came up. So it means taking something and using Ratatouille to render something on it, or taking a GUI and just making a TUI that does the same thing, but better. But you know, how is this actually possible, right? If you remember the architecture, I said you can implement your own backend, and this is the trait that you need to implement. If you implement this on anything, you can basically render the widgets and use the same widgets, same approach in that app. So the most important one is the draw call, where you get the cells and coordinates. So you got to just figure out how to place those things on a specific screen, and boom, you have a Ratatouille app running on whatever. So we have some custom backends, such as Ratatouille UFI. You can just run it on your bootloader because maybe you want to do that. We have Mousefoot, which I'm going to talk about today, and other ones as well. We have this Bevy Ratatouille camera, which means you can just run Bevy apps, like games, in the terminal using that backend. You just need to adjust it in a way that, you know, Ratatouille is compatible architecturally, and then boom, it works. As I said, we're going to talk about Mousefoot today, and Mousefoot is for embedded applications. So in these little screens, you can actually run Ratatouille, and it really fits the theme because, you know, terminal is a simple place, and embedded also needs less resources. It has some limitations, and it's really a good application for Ratatouille. And this is an e-ink screen. You can also put Ratatouille on there. But okay, let's talk about what hardware we're going to use today, right? So ESP32, a pretty popular one. It has these specs. I'm not going to go into detail, but we have different types of ESP32s. Today I'm going to use this one with the little screen. And when it comes to the Rust support on this hardware, there are a couple of options. You can use the ESP Hall crate, which is no STD. It comes from the company Espressif directly, so it is developed by them. So you can use that if you're fine with no STD and more stable support. You can also use ESP IDF Hall, which is a community effort project, and you can actually use STD in there. And it requires a custom toolchain, but installing the toolchain is not that difficult. You just install ESP up and run ESP up install, and installs it for you. ESP flash is also needed for flashing the firmware. You need to have this configuration if you're running, if you're building things for embedded. This will mean that when I run cargo run, just flash it, build the firmware and just flash it to my ESP32, and you're just setting the target there because that's the that's a target that you need to use for embedded. And there's this really cool ESP generate TUI that's actually built with Ratatui, which helps you to generate an ESP project. I'll show you here. So when you run it, you'll get some options, and you can just tweak these options based on whatever you want to do. Say you want to use Wi-Fi, there you go, enabled. You can just tweak a bunch of other things, and when you press enter, it will generate the whole project for you. So yeah, that's a convenient tool to use. So can we use Rust on these devices? Yes, we can, but what about the rat? I just kind of forget about the rat. So yeah, we can also use Ratatui on these devices as well with the mouse with backend. And it's quite easy actually. You can just, you just need a display, which might be anything that implements the embedded graphics traits, and then just use it like as usual. You just have this, you just create this terminal object, and you can just draw things on there. So that's easy as that. And you can also have this simulation create. So you can just create a simulator window, and then you create a display from that, and then you can create your terminal from that. So it's like wrapping a couple of types, and at the end, you can simply run these embedded applications on a simulation window like this. So this is what you're going to see on the device, but running with the simulation backend. So there you go. There's this really good talk by one of our maintainers, Jagoda. She's explained how these things work in detail, and also Ratatouille is no STD now, so there's more details on this talk if you're interested in learning more about these topics. So demo time, let's do a little demo. 1 second, I'm going to set this up real quick. Okay, hopefully this will work. Internet is a bit weird though. I guess we don't have stable internet, so we might not run a demo here. 1 second, let me just try to run it again. No, guys, it's freezing. Sorry, I won't be able to work with this, and just like dies. Yeah, sorry. 10 minutes. You want to be able to demo, but it will come back. Anyways, I can show you some stuff anyways. So what else can we do with all of these information, with all the embedded stuff? You can build stuff like this. So I have this project. I have built it for learning guitar, actually. So I'm going to show you how it looks like. Not in detail because my camera is not working. But So this is like a small circuit board with a screen on it, and you can, maybe you guys can zoom from the camera, but wait. So you can simply see the frequencies that is picking up from the microphone, and it has a jack input, so you can just plug your guitar into this, and there's like a custom widget that shows you the fretboard and so on. So this helps you to basically learn guitar by just seeing the notes and so on. And I have this demo video that I can show you actually. 1 second. Okay, that's me. You just plug in your guitar or whatever you want to do, like any other instrument. And you're playing something and it shows you which note you're playing on the display. And you can also play this little game where it shows you the notes and you try to play them. Or you can see the scales if you want to learn how to play it. It has a microphone, so you can tune your guitar with it. And all the other Wii U's, and works with other instruments. And I'm just like working on making this a DIY kit right now. And I named it Tuitar because I like Tuis, not quiz, so I just changed the name there. And I live demoed this on RustForge. There's this video with me playing the guitar with everything showing up there. And if you're asking about like what's the fretboard thing that I'm using there, it's a custom widget. And it pretty much works like this. So you implement your stateful widget on a struct. And then you can simply render this in the terminal. And yeah, just using Unicode characters and so on. I'm going to show, oh. It's a horrible looking. Okay. AA, Tuitar. And there, oh wow, the singles also. Yeah, that's the fretboard widget that I was telling you about. 1 second, let me show you how it looks like. So basically, if you play a note there, it will show you the position of the note on the guitar fretboard, and this little thing is also doing the same, but it's little and it's running on embedded. So there you go. And if you have a guitar like this, which I hope you don't, you can just customize the widget like this so it also fits the screen. I showed you the demo video already, but this is a close-up, so you can see how it looks like. These are the scales. This is a little game that I made for this, and you can also load your songs onto it, and then you can just, just play the song by just following the notes. And there's this thing that if you want to check it out, it's on GitHub and so on. So if you want more of these things, these embedded Ratatui applications, there's this little IRC client that's running Ratatui on this little screen, and yeah, you can see the messages that's coming from IRC. There's this phone OS demo, which is like a whole phone Tui, but running on embedded. Somebody's working on it. Julian is working on it, and I don't know. We don't have much real demos for this, but it's gonna come alive pretty soon, I think. So there you go. Also, it is possible to run animations on embedded 2 with Tachyon FX. So if you need some fancy looking, if you have a fancy looking Tui, and if you want to just port it to embedded, it also works. And there's this little FPS counter right there if you're curious about how performant it is running, and so on. And there is some challenges during those things, actually. I'm going to talk about those very briefly. The first one is that I still need to figure this out. When your screen gets bigger, you need to allocate more memory. There's some ways to mitigate that, but right now that's a problem. And you can try to change the stack size or the heap size, but I usually get these type of errors. Memory allocation of 8 bytes failed, which is like, I don't know, it's kind of random. But these stuff happen on embedded. And another one is, I still don't know how I'm going to fix this, but all of these embedded stuff are using a C library that is built. Like this is not a part of the Rust project, but they're built with CC, and then they've been used from the target tracker and so on. But they specifically work with the optimization level 1 for me, and sometimes they don't. So I just have this specific optimization level configured in the cargo toml, and I'm guessing this is caused by these combinations and optimizations and so on. So it's really painful. By the way, you can watch me suffer on YouTube. I am doing all of these things live. I have many live streams that I just try to build things. So all live streamed, and I'm also quite happy to interact with you on there. So there's my YouTube channel. But yeah, a very important note: if you like what you have seen today, consider sponsoring. I am, full-time, kind of full-time open source person these days. So I would really appreciate it. All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Orhun. We have time for one question. Anybody? Okay.
I got a question. First of all, I really like your fancy toy demos and the app you divide. And my question is, I'm a Rust station that developed a GUI in a more complicated device and a more complicated application. So I'm developing a GUI framework, and I found a very complicated question is that it's very common that in application, we need to inherit some widget from other widget. For example, if I develop a text box and inherit from, as you mentioned before, I see there's a trait in the Tui, in your Tui demo. There's a trait called the stateful widget, and I implement text box, implement stateful widget, and I need another widget, like a very fancy text box, and it's inherit from the text box, regular text box. What would you do? Because there's no inheritance in Rust, and we cannot imply trait twice, maybe. So yeah.
Yeah. So it's a good question. We usually have separate widgets for different purposes, and there are a lot of third-party widgets. So, for example, there's a TUI text area widget, which is like a text area with key bindings and editor features. Say you want to build something like that, but on top of that, right? So what you would do is you import that project first of all, and in your own widget implementation, you just call render on that widget. So it's it's not like inheritance, but you just kind of layer things together. So the stateful widget provides a render function, right? So when you implement your stateful widget, you just have you just call the render function on that other widget. So it's like wrapping things together, and that way you can basically build widgets like that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm glad that demo didn't work because I didn't have time anyways.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Orhun.
Thank you.
Thank you.